How's it going, guys? It's Joe. Welcome to the channel. We're doing another 3v3 Grand Arena today, and we're going to be up against the Art of War. So this gentleman, I do believe he's also a content creator, although I did check out his stream for about 5 minutes. They were speaking a foreign language, so I really couldn't understand, but he's a pretty awesome player, guys. Go check him out. Having a look at the overview here, guys, so he does beat me by about 1.1 million GP. However, we're both in the top 82.3 million bracket. Looking at the relics, he does have one T8. He has about 17 more Tier 7 relics. Pretty matched up in rank currently, and in the lifetime banners, he's very close to getting 560k. Having a look at the roster, he does have about 62 more Gear 13s. And in the mods, he has 1,006 mods. And this gent is actually from more as well, guys. So definitely no pushover. He has 54 plus 20 speed mods and 73 offensive plus 100s. So this guy is quite successful in his GACs, and having a look, I do believe he's ranked quite high in Kyber previously. So Kyber rank 398. He does have 4 of the Galactic Legends, all with ultimate. Pretty modded, very optimally as well. He has Kiadi Mundi, which is pretty cool. And let's have a look at the board here. So up in the front, he does have Rey, Darth Revan, and Resistance heroes with JTR. Night Sisters up top, some Separatists, and Nest. So the interesting thing about this 3v3, guys, is that I've actually changed it up a fair bit with regard to efficiency, as I wanted to be as efficient as I could be in this particular matchup. And let's see how we do. So we're going to be doing the Rey mirror matchup here, which I find I do a lot in 3v3. They did a lot of damage on R2-D2 there, as you can see, guys. So really well modded rebels here. And R2 is now on the damage immunity. And of course, Chewbacca survives that hurricane, as he already had a couple of stacks on him of protection up. So luckily their Rey is much quicker than my Rey and goes into the ultimate straight away. I'm going to pass the foresight around. And now I'm just hoping to get around to another hurricane and hopefully drop Chewbacca ASAP. And now we do get a hurricane at this point. We drop Chewbacca. Opposing Rey goes into her ultimate. She does take another hurricane there, so we're able to survive that, luckily. And now the opposing Rey has damage immunity. Get a couple of stuns on the Han Solo. Now I probably could have saved that ultimate for the next round, as Rey went into another hurricane at this point and almost dropped Holdo here. So I had to switch it up and place the that buff on Holdo. And now we're just going against the opposing Rey. However, now we don't have the timing and she actually gets to her ultimate before we do. So I choose to use one more hurricane there. before I utilize the ultimate. And we finally drop her, however, really terrible banners as our Ray was already in the red. And we did lose a bunch of health and protection on our side characters as well. Next up, we're going to be using Gas with the 501st against his Darth Revan team. And really insane mods on these characters, guys. As you can see, they pretty much outrun Gas, and this Marauder did a ton of damage on that Rex that it was able to proc sacrifice right from the get-go. So first 30 seconds of this match isn't looking very good. I'm lucky to be able to get to the Rexolate. However, Marauder does a ton of damage there and just drops Rex as well. So I was talking about efficiency before, however it's not working out for us at this stage. And having a look at this Resistance hero team, they've got about 300 and almost 340 speed on that Finn. So it'd be really difficult to outrun. So we did use our Rebels here. So pretty decent banners there. However, the problem is I do dislike burning off the CLS team in the front walls, as typically there's always a team in the back that you want to use it on. So looking at the back, they did have Jedi Master Luke. He has Malik with BSF, as well as Palpatine. Now this is a pretty interesting matchup here, guys, as I used Tarkin leadership against Jedi Knight Luke, and this was the first time I'd ever used this, but really the main idea here is try and be faster than Hoda. As we all know, Hoda is pretty fast. His Hoda is about 340 speed, and really what you want to get here is that ability block on Hoda, as you don't want him utilizing Jedi Knight Luke's ability, and then we fracture Luke here. So we forced Hoda to use a basic, and now we're just going to drop the side characters here as we have full control of Jedi Knight Luke with that fracture, and we didn't need Wat Tambor in this team either. So we're going to cull Hoda, we're going to place more debuffs out on the field, and now we're just going to try and pass a turn onto Vader, utilize Merciless, and cull Luke as well. 216k damage. So full banners, guys, for a Tarkin lead. The idea behind that is Tarkin lead does give you that extra speed, and everyone out on the field are also Empire, and the opposing team are Jedi, so that gives Vader a ton of speed to begin with. And really you want to outrun that Hoda, as if you don't have enough speed on your characters, that Hoda will utilize Luke's ability and the game is pretty much over. And you've got a preloaded Jedi team that's a nightmare to go against. And now we do utilize our Imperial Troopers against Mon Mothma. And really this Mon Mothma didn't have her Zeta, so I do believe he probably saved a Zeta there, as I'm able to target her from the get-go. Luckily the opposing team weren't doing a ton of damage, as they had POW and Scarif Rebel Pathfinder. However, once the turn meter train starts going on this team, they can be quite problematic, so we're going to utilize our multi-attack ability on Mon Mothma and drop her from the get-go, and that way there won't be any revives. Now we're going to hit Rebel Trooper here and try and get a bit of our protection back. So having a look at the board here, looks like should be about 52-53 banners Scarif does revive, so one basic here should give us 53 banners. So I like this particular matchup, guys, as it did give me a lot of learning experience, as I was able to utilize matchups that I hadn't before. So I'm finding it quite fun that I'm going deeper into my roster to try and beat down these teams. And typically I don't use bounty hunters as much as I should, although I found that this opposing lineup here could be a viable team to utilize bounty hunters against. We are stuck behind the zombie taunt, which isn't ideal. And the problem with Django's second ability is it doesn't go through foresight. So really Bulba probably could have been a bit more useful here. Although Spirit does drop foresight, and we were able to utilize the second ability on him or her at that point. And Mando was quite unuseful at this point, as I really didn't get to payouts quick enough to be able to utilize his Annihilate ability. So it could have been Django and Bulba here, which is something to think about in the future. So I'm just utilizing special abilities here and trying to get the protection back up on my characters, as opposed to just annihilating zombie, as I want to try to be as efficient as I possibly can be. So we finally get to the second ability of Django, and we got about 53 banners there as well. We still did have our Nihilists at this point, and this team with Dengar lead looks like a timeout team potentially. So with timeout teams, I find I like utilizing the Sith Triumvirate or Mando. So we isolate Cara Dune here. We're going to try and place ability block onto Nest. Nest is doing a ton of counter-attacking as well. And I do believe we were quite lucky in terms of relics in this particular matchup, as a really high relic Nest would have just blasted through Nihilus, as I only have Nihilus at about relic 2. So at this point we're going to try and hopefully regain a bit of protection on Sion, as I don't believe we can possibly regain the protection on the other characters. However, Dengar is in stealth and he just keeps taking away banners. So this, my current opponent actually really thought about his defense here, as it's just taking away a ton of banners. So although I don't believe he intends to trip you, he takes away most of your banners and wins by efficiency. I find this particular team that I used here though quite effective. So if you're looking at a team like Dooku or Django that typically takes away a ton of banners, having Jedi Knight Luke utilized against teams like that, I find is quite effective in getting your banners back. So we utilized our stun ability. We got a multi-stun on all the characters on the field, get a basic there on Poggle. And we still have a solid amount of banners at the moment, although Django utilized the burn. Should get a heal up at this point. Django will revive, and we have almost full banners in all our characters, so we're going to pass this turn onto Hoda. So we get about 53 banners there. Now in 3v3 I find, guys, that if I get a score of above 51 or close to that, I'm actually quite happy in terms of efficiency, as typically a lot of the teams in 3v3, if they're well modded, they're bound to take a couple of banners away, which sometimes is just inevitable. This particular matchup here I have not utilized before, as I typically just utilize Grievous on defense. So this is a very new matchup for me as well, guys. And it's not looking too good at the moment, as I'm losing a ton of banners from that pesky B1 on the opposing lineup. So we're able to drop Newt Gunray, however we're losing a ton of B1 stacks here, which is quite unfortunate. As I do believe his B1 was way faster than mine, and that contributed to my B1 stacks dropping way quicker than they should have. So I did lose all my characters here. Grievous goes into the second ability. And now we're just trying to get a bit of health back, if possible, as we don't have much health on this Magna Guard. So I was trying to decide what ability to utilize, and unfortunately that was as much health as I could recover. So I had about 3 or 4 battles that were less efficient than what I would have wanted. And he placed a negotiator on defense as well. So interesting, very interesting ship matchup. So I did decide to place Wat Tambor here with Sith Eternal against this Jedi Master Luke team, as I know typically if you had Wat Tambor on the opposing lineup, that it'd be troublesome to utilize Sith Eternal, as Sith Eternal's second ability doesn't go through the protection up that Bastila Shan generates. So we're gonna lose Wat Tambor here, as that Ki-Adi-Mundi is doing a ton of damage. So I'm really excited to actually get Ki-Adi-Mundi. Unfortunately, it's not as easy, as some of the high-end guilds I've already been able to get Relic 7 Ki-Adi-Mundi, and I do believe my opponent's Ki-Adi-Mundi is Relic 5. And as you can see, even Ki-Adi-Mundi's damage is doing a number on Sith Eternal as well. So that got me worried for a little bit there. However, I did link the both the Grandmaster Yoda and Jedi Master Luke, as I knew those two were the fastest of the opposing lineup. And I wanted to drop Jedi Master Luke before he got to his ultimate, so I'm able to drop him there, and I kill off Ki-Adi-Mundi with the counter attack. So now up against the Darth Revan, I did still have Jedi Master Luke. So the idea here is drop Bastila Shan as quickly as I possibly can. And having Barisofi here allows for us to constantly equalize our health whenever the opposing team does a critical hit. And hopefully if we're able to drop her quick enough, then just have to deal with Malik here. And we do gain a bit of protection while spreading the Jedi lessons here, so hopefully we get a bit back on our characters, but it's looking to be about 51-52 banner win here. $51 banners. And lastly, it's been a while since I've gone against a negotiator, and having a look at the starting lineup, guys, it's a very different starting lineup from what I'm used to. So I wasn't sure whether to utilize my separatists here, because that could be risky considering Ahsoka is in the front line. And so I utilized this particular matchup. And as you can see here, it got really troublesome to start off with. I did lose Anakin and I was in panic mode, as typically if you lose Anakin this early, 90% of the time you just lose the battle. I was able to drop Ahsoka, and I got Undying Loyalty at this point. And now we're just trying to get to the opposing team's Anakin as well. We're going to heal up with Plo Koon, spread some turn meter. I was hoping that basic would drop Anakin, however, it didn't work out for us. And we do lose Plo Koon as well, which is quite unfortunate. The AoE does take care of Anakin. However, the opposing negotiator goes into the fourth ability. It takes away all of our banners. So after this particular matchup, guys, I was really contemplating whether I should relic 8 my negotiator or my GK. So let me know in the comments below, guys, what you think about that particular idea, as I do find that there's a ton of benefits of relicking GK. I have one relic 8 available, as I haven't relicked any of my characters further, so I don't have any relic 8s at the moment. And ships is one of the things that everyone sort of tends to overlook. However, I do believe in the importance of ships, so I'm very willing to relic 8 my GK and probably prevent future battles like this in GAC, hopefully. As you can see, that's the battle that actually took away a ton of my banners. As typically with matchups like that, I usually get at least 60 or 58 to 60. A couple of things I probably could have changed up in retrospect. I probably could have had 5s in the front line, ensuring that I don't lose Anakin that early. The next matchup is a little bit more straightforward, as I did use my Separatists against Thrawn, and I got about 64 banners there. If I had done it the other way around, things probably could have been a little bit better. However, thinking about it, I probably could have still won with a low banner count just as well. So that's our final score there, guys, and we're just waiting for Art of War to start his attacks. And at this point I did realize that this gent is also a content creator and he does like streaming his battles. And like most content creators, they typically want the opposing team or the opposing player to start their offense before they do, as it would give us an unfair advantage if they started streaming and we were able to find out what was in the back walls prior to attacking. So just having a look at my defenses here, guys, I did change it up. I had DR and Padme in the back. I had Qui-Gon, GK and Ezra. Just quite an interesting matchup. I even placed Night Sisters as well. I usually like to keep that for Grievous. However, I knew that my opponent doesn't like to utilize Grievous on defense. So finally, this is the score on the board for this particular final in round 3. So he beat me about 25 banners in terms of efficiency. So congratulations, he's a really good player, and having a look at his stream, he's got a ton of followers and a ton of videos as well, guys. So hopefully you liked this video today. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe, and as always, I will see you on the next one.